own worst enemy or be used against myself. And that's what happens to public people. I think that's why I'm so fascinated by the group of artists that you came from. Like James Baldwin, that kind of blows my mind. These are people who, like, we have postage stamps up.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Like, amen.
And these are your cronies. Yeah, these are your homies, so to speak.
Yeah.
Did you know Malcolm X?
Oh, my dear. Yes, very well.
He's a truly American phenomenon.
Yes. So is Martin.
No, absolutely.
The two of them were both friends of mine. So when you talk to me, you're talking at once in history, but it's my life.
So every human grouping, whether it's just two people, a family, people in the neighborhood, people in the city, in a nation, a tribe, a species, people live in direct relation to the heroes and the sheroes they have.
There was a certain consciousness that was the backdrop of my upbringing. You know, we would have like Malcolm X pictures hanging up in our house. Kind of a counterculture upbringing, like the things that I knew about that I was starting to understand were not in everybody's homes.
At Martin King's request, I rejoined the Southern Christian Leadership Conference because I had left him to go to Malcolm.
Was it really separated movements like that?
Oh, my goodness. When Malcolm was in the States, it was so separated. Malcolm even made Martin look like a Tom until he understood what was happening.
Right.
But that's a wonderful thing about the icon. You continue to grow and you develop courage, the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. If you've seen another truth and had enough courage to change your way of thinking, to say, hey, everybody, you know what I said last week? I don't believe that anymore. A little child just straightened me out. This was the mark of Martin and of Malcolm. So when Malcolm X came to Africa and came to us in West Africa, in Ghana, he said, I have met blue-eyed, blonde-haired white men at Mecca, and I can call them brother. I've learned not all whites are the devils.
It's important for you to talk about these people.
Exactly.
And remind me of their humanity, because as icons, the level of virtue they have seems impossible.
This is why it's dangerous to make anybody seem larger than life. Because a young person coming up sees this larger than life figure, this outrageously gigantic personality, and has to say, I can never be that. I can never do that.
Absolutely.
You see, when the truth is, those men and those women were in the right place at the right time and got hold of something. And something caught hold of them.
This is something that I just now in this stage of my life am getting an appreciation for. And maybe being a public person kind of helped me appreciate it. But what the 60s must have been like for anybody. What was it, 8 or 9 assassinations? What does that do to a generation? Having lived through that and having known those people. This is me. I imagine I'd still be angry. I'd be angry at my country. I'd be angry at anybody who let that happen to my friends.
Oh, if you're not angry, you're either a stone or you're too sick to be angry. You should be angry.
But what do you do with it?
Now, mind you, there's a difference. You must not be bitter.
That's a hard.
Let me show you why. Bitterness is like cancer. It eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. So use that anger, yes. You write it, you paint it, you dance it, you march it, you vote it, you do everything about it, you talk it. Never stop talking it.